Okay, so we were doing Women Change the World, and in that we were doing the informal sector, where we talked of the women being responsibly doing their own job. They are self-employed, and most of the time they are paid very less to the amount of work they undertake. Clear? Now we have to now come on to meeting financial, social, and training needs. So now, since they are paid very less, they need to be financially looked after. Yeah. So we'll see that several organizations within the group have grown up in response to an. You all are constantly disturbed by the other class, isn't it? Several organizations within the group have grown up in the response to an identified need, such as the Seva Bank, one of the group's largest cooperative with over 125,000 members. Additionally, six self financed organizations provide insurance, pensions, medical, and children for childcare for Seva members. The largest is the Lok Swasthya Seva Health Cooperative with 155 member workers serving 74,695 self-employed members and their families. So now they are telling you to meet the financial needs. There are certain organizations which are themselves putting their efforts to uplift these people who are financially weak. Now, since a Kamwali Bai is working on her own, her job is not very secured. So these kind of organizations which are looking after the pensions, the insurance, and the medical and child care of these workers who are self-employed, these organizations are able to provide proper financial aid and looking after through various schemes they have put forward. Clear till here? Okay. The movement is governed democratically. That means the people have employed, have appointed these organizations, and they have casted vote for these members. So it is democratically run. Each cooperative or self-help group elects its own governing body from among its workers. So it is from the workers only that they appoint the person who will be the governing body. Okay. Then and 500 elected representatives or pratinidhis meet monthly in small groups to share ideas and experiences. So there are nearly 500 pratinidhis or the leaders who look after the common problems of these other self-employed women, etc. And they meet and discuss ideas of how they can make things better. Clear? Next, we come on to women in the formal sector. Now, we talked of informal sector where the women were self-employed. Now we talk of the formal sector. That means working under somebody. Yeah. Now the choice of jobs for women, both in the formal and informal sectors, is restricted to the lowly paid ones. That means whether the women are working in a private formal sector or informal sector. The common problem is they are less paid. They are paid in a with a very meager salary. Yeah, they get a very little return. Lowly paid, underline lowly paid. Women are mostly the lowly paid ones. In offices, women are mostly employed in clerical and secretarial work. So in offices, they are not given high posts. They are either given a clerical job or a secretary type of a job. They are not given big firms and big positions in those firms. Clerical is the desk job. इसे कहते हैं ना clerk है वो. That is okay. Okay. This is in both public sector and private sector undertakings. That means public and private sector is basically what? Public sector means what is the government's work, and private is owned by a particular person. Like this school is a private school. It has all the authority with the principal has all the authority. Whereas a government school, the government looks after the working. The government appoints a principal. After 5 years, that principal has to go to some other school, some other principal comes over. Clear? So both in private and public undertaking, the condition is just the same. It is no better. Now, in the field of informatics, women do work that is to a large extent related to secretarial jobs. In the field of finance and communications, they staff the switchboard. Very few women have broken bastions to enter the boardroom. Therefore, generally, women earn low wages. Many women are still subjected to a low status, whether it be in manufacturing or in services, unless job opportunities are created for women, education is expanded, they are given training to increase their potentials, and special legislation is implemented to empower them, women will remain backward. So now they have given certain limitations. They say that unless and until these following conditions are given. That means what all? Education is expanded. That means every female child is given education. Yeah. They are given training to increase their potential. That means a proper training in that job which was given to them. Proper working is told to them. Guidance is given to them. Or special legislation is implemented. That means special laws for the working of the women are not made till the power is not given to the women. Till then, there could never be expected that there will be any change in the working and position of the women. Did you get this much? We move further backwards straight, please. It is hoped that if men share equally equally the responsibilities of the home, it would have a positive effect on the life of women. So this is a very common factor. If a woman is going for a job, if a man is going for a job, when they come back home, if the work is equally distributed among the male members of the house, then obviously women will get better opportunity, isn't it? Because right now, what happens is a woman managing outside, when she comes back home, has to manage the home as well. That means she is not left with extra energy to do any other work. So if the work is divided, it will give a positive result. Of course, society is in transition. Things are changing, and more women are going out to work and breaking traditional stereotypes. So whatever was prevalent earlier is no longer the same. Many women are breaking the age-old customs and traditions, and they are leaving the houses and going out and doing the job. Stereotype, preconceived thinking, preconceived belief is called a stereotype. जो जन्मों से चला रहा है कि अरे इसको तो सिर पे पल्लू लेना है. Why सिर पे पल्लू लेने से रिस्पेक्ट नहीं होगी. अगर आपको पैर छू रहे हो उससे रिस्पेक्ट नहीं होगी. आप पैर रोज छू रहे हो लेकिन रोज गाली दे रहे हो. Is it called a respect? No. If you do good deeds and show it through your actions, that is what is needed. So all these stereotype images have been discarded. Yeah. In recent years, attempts have been made to accept household work as a major contribution to the wealth of the society. Women have struggled to be accepted as equal at their place of work, whether it be at home or in the office. They have grown in confidence and meet more challenges now, and also have come to prove their competency and ability to multitask. This has overturned social relationships. So now they are telling you that with the working, with the course of time, women have shown mass improvement and the ability and potentials have grown. Clear? What women were earlier. Now this changing scenario is such that they are getting recognition, they are getting the status equal to men, though it is a very far-fetched dream still. Clear? It is too early to think that women are treated equally. The women have to still have a long run to cover. Fair? Next is challenges faced by working women in India. Now, those women who are working, going out and working, what are the challenges that they are facing? Let us see that. Working women in India are faced with lot more challenges than their counterparts in the other parts of the world. So they are telling you that women in India, they are facing more challenges than the challenges in other countries faced by the other women in other countries. Clear? Now in India, men do not share on most of the household chores. They are women who have to cook, clean the house, do the dishes, wash clothes, get their children ready for school, etc. Men just take care of a few chores that are to be dealt outside the house. So you all must have seen in most of the houses, it is the women who are doing, after reaching home, doing all the work. And men folk, they hardly make any contribution. It is seen only in India that once a woman comes back from her job, she has to do the cleaning of dishes, washing of clothes, etc., looking after the children, making them get ready, etc. The chores means the daily works are not at all helped by the male members. Okay. So the major burden of running the family is on the shoulders of women. It was all right for women to handle all the chores as long as they were homemakers. Now, with their increasing need for getting some income for the family, they have to work all the more harder. They have to take up a 9 to 5 plus, handle all the household chores that they handle as a homemaker. Men's role has to be changed much. So now here they are telling you that women, earlier they were housemakers. That means they were just looking after the house. Now they are stepping out doing the job as well. And once they come back from their job from 9 to 5, they still have to manage the home and do every household work. So that means their condition is very pathetic, and the change is not much to be brought in her lifestyle. It is basically the men who need to change now and accept the fact that the women are going out, they are working, and when they're coming back home, they are working for house as well. So it is the women who don't have to change much, but has to be brought the change has to be brought more in men. They need to accept the fact. They need to give a helping hand. Clear till here? Next. Women have started sleeping less than before because only when they wake up early, they can cook for the family, get themselves ready for the job, and get their children ready for schools. So, on an average, women have lost 2 hours of sleep per day and up to 14 hours sleep per week. So, this is clear because any woman who's going out to work is first getting up a little early to do the cooking, to manage the house, to look after the children, and to do everything that is required for her before she steps out of the house. So this, they are telling that working women, they are deprived of 2 hours sleep than the rest of the people. And for a week, it turns out to be 14 hours, which is quite depressing. If they happen to work in a highly pressurized environment, then they will bring home their work, and that cuts a few more hours of sleep. Now, in an environment where the women are working, if they are workloaded, if they are overloaded with work, if their boss is strict, that means they will bring the work home as well, isn't it? Because they have a tension. The boss is really super powering their working condition. So to cope up with the things, she'll bring the work home. Now she cannot bring the work home and leave it aside. She will have to take out time again. She cannot leave her household things also. So that means extra hours are also needed at home for her. She's more deprived of sleep. She will cut the time from her sleeping hours only. Yeah, if she brings the jobs work home. You get it? So it is not just about the reduced sleep, but such a lifestyle builds stress. Now, if she's deprived of sleep, it is not only just a bad lifestyle, but it also brings the stress, lot of stress, lot of tension. Okay, less sleep. Okay, but then there's, because of less sleep, there's stress also a lot. Clear? This stress is passed on to the family and frustration level builds up in the family. This leads to relationship problems. Now, once the woman is frustrated, she's shouting on, on her children, on the family members, on the husband. They're having fights. All this is giving a very negative effect, not only to the others, but also to her own health. Clear? So, this has to be built up, this has to be looked after. They have to handle harassments at their workplace. Since they are women, they have to be extra careful because there could be any male member harassing them or being a problem to them. Yeah. So sometimes just overlook things to ensure that their job is not jeopardized in any way. So many a times the women who are facing harassment in their office, they do not give a word to it. They just listen to it and ignore it. Why? Because they don't want the working condition to be, you know, disrupted. They don't want the people to know, oh, she's a troublemaker. Whereas the harassment is there. She, being a female, is being harassed maybe by the boss in a wrong way also. She's keeping quiet so that the others may not know. Her dignity should be safe. All this is the problem which the women face. So many Indian families are still living as joint families along with the parents and in laws. This adds to their stress further because they have to please all the members of the family of her husband, listen to the complaints that they make against her, and turn a deaf ear towards them, and so on. So now there are many Indian families who are still living in a joint family. That means the family members have all the other members to please. Now, the woman who's working has to make sure that the family members are happy with her. The joint family members, all their demands are also to be looked after. Many a times there are quarrels in the house, there are gossips in the house about that woman who's working. Yet she has to turn a deaf ear to, not to listen to what gossip and what scoldings or quarreling she's being tortured with. She moves ahead without being much affected by it. Yes, Tim? Geoparda is just hindered. Her working is hindered. Okay, if she makes a fuss about things, then her working will be in doubt. Yeah. Supposing a man is harassing her. Okay. Now, if she opens her mouth, then there will be others who say, "Lo, bhaiya, inko to badi problem hoti hai, inko to har dusre aadmi se problem hai." So this will jeopardize her working. That means it will hinder the working of her. People will start saying about her only. Okay, so that is why she is most of the time quiet, so that the people are not making fuss about things. Yeah. This adds to their stress further because they have to please all the members of the family of her husband, and she has to turn a deaf ear to all. Overall, majority of women in India look towards future or live in the hope that things will change. Some of us have given up that hope and learn to accept that nothing can be done about it. India still has to do a lot before our women will be able to live their life to the fullest, to the full. So now, each one of us, they are telling that each one of us, whether male or female, we have to look forward to provide a better environment to our females. Whatever a time comes when they stop thinking that anything will change. They have accepted that nothing will change. So it depends all on us that if we make a small differences, if we make little efforts to build up our relations, to help up a little with these women who are working, if we are little considerate at home also, if your mother is working, how nice have you been to her? If you can make a little effort to change a little, bring a little change in yourself, you will help her. If you start going from home today and help her out with the clothes that you just throw here and there, if you just go and pick them, clean them up properly, This will be a big help to her. If you take out your tiffin and keep it in the washing area, she'll be so happy. If you take out your water bottle, pour extra water in the sink, and then clean your water bottle and keep it ready for the next day, it will be a very good help for her. These are small things which we as kids or we as husbands ignore. If we start looking forward, it will definitely make a lot of difference in a female's life. यहाँ से जाने के बाद हम कोई तो काम नहीं करते. When you all go back home, other than studies, do you hardly look what your mother has been doing the whole day? We hardly give it a thought. Today, silently just go and observe your mother and you'll see how much she does. Yeah? With this, we stop here till here. We'll move further in our next class. Next time. Understood, children, here?